I talked a little bit yesterday about finding your purpose. Finding your purpose is your happiness. And for many, we don't know where to start. So I want to talk to you about how to explore your interests to figure out what your purpose is. Now again, this could be something where it's just a part-time gig, or you just want to volunteer, or you're like, I want to quit my job and start a business and make full-time money and then some. Own it. Whatever it is, own it. But how do you figure out what your purpose is? For me, it starts with exploring your interests, what you like and what you're good at, and maybe both. So I have a list of common interests, and I'm going to read them off. What I want you to do is grab a sheet of paper, and anything I say that speaks to you that you like, I want you to write it down. And I don't care how many are on the page, write them down. Ready? Here we go. Real estate, kids or babies, religion, cooking or baking, fashion, house decorating, building things, being outdoors, inventing, art, sports, exercise or dance, health, hair, crafting, writing, technology, photography, makeup or beauty, sewing, math, history or science, reading, music, animals. And if I missed any that are standing out to you, write that down as well. I also want you to be clear on if the majority of the work you'll do will have you alone or in a group of people, and that's important. So I want to have you kind of circle the ones that really jump off the page at you. And again, it's okay if there's multiples, but I want you to get really clear on the ones that like you feel like a burning desire to do, or that you feel you could turn into a business, or have already thought about how that could be a business. Those are the ones I want you to really pay attention to. Now, if you have 2 or 3 and you're not sure how they go together, they could. I mean, they're not always going to meld together, but a lot can. So if you really love to do hair and you're really good even on your own hair and you like photography, you can video yourself doing your own hair and do tutorials, because if you're like me, I have no idea what I'm doing with this, and definitely not for my daughter. So you could become, a YouTube tutorial. Let's think of another example. Well, like personally for me, my first business was professional organizing and my second business is health and wellness. And I really tried to marry the two because I felt like they all fell under the wellness umbrella. But the more I tried to kind of push the two, the more I realized they didn't go. And so sometimes it's trial and error, but sometimes things will work. Okay, so now you've written out the interests, the things that fire you up. What are some ways for you to turn those into a business? Being that it's 2019, here are some of my suggestions. Number 1, could the thing that you really love to do be something you teach or tutor? Piano lessons, sewing lessons, math tutor, photography courses online where people, opt into a course and they do it on their own time and they pay you for it. Writing courses. There's so many ways to do that now, whether you go into someone's home, they come into your home, or you do something online, or you do something in public, like a community ed type program. A lot of communities have these. I've taught in that forum. The community keeps half the course fee, you take the other 50%. You can literally write your own course, and they have these for adults and children. So if you're like fluent in Spanish, but you don't use it, this is a way for you to do it. Second, online selling. There's so many ways to do that. So if you are like a master crafter, Etsy is the place you want to be, or your own Facebook page, or get into craft shows or vendor fairs, things like that. Third, is there a network marketing company out there that goes hand in hand with something you're interested in? There's so many out there. Some are not so good. Some are really good. So it's even better if the company you're with is like top 25. But if you love hair, there's a network marketing company for hair. So they will handle all the logistics for you, and it is like a low investment, low overhead business that you can work from home. And then is there a local company that is doing what you want to do that you could get involved with or work there or kind of shadow there, work there for a while and then go off on your own so you can kind of get some ideas? You know, a lot of times you might have to work for practically nothing or nothing at all, like a volunteer or an intern. But think about it this way. You're going to learn and get better and grow. So anything like this sometimes is upfront a lot of work and not as much money, but it will pay off, I promise, if you stick to it. And that can be another video. When I first started my first business, I was really nervous that people wouldn't take me serious. There was no course work for what I did. It wasn't a thing when I started it. But people knew me, they knew my integrity, they knew I was going to work hard, learn, and do a really good job for my clients. And you will too. But often it's just about putting it out there. Like, listen, this is what I'm doing. I'm 100% in, I'm committed, and I'm going to be amazing at it. And sharing that with the world, you will get hired or you will sell your product, whatever it is, and the word of mouth will spread if you just always show up and do the best work you can for your client. The other thing I would suggest doing is interview somebody you look up to, somebody who has started a business or somebody that you admire or somebody who could be like a mentor to you. But you want to get really specific with the questions you're going to ask them in an interview type situation so you can learn from them. When I had my first business, I used to get calls like this all the time. And so I will warn you that if you are looked at as a competitor for this person, they might not help you. So it's better to go to somebody you know who started a business that isn't necessarily what you want to do, but that will answer your question, because all of this rolls up into the same thing, okay? It's hard work, it's dedication, it's kind of going for it, but these questions will work for any business. So here's some ideas. What training or education would I need to do this? What equipment or supplies do I need? How much money do I need to start up? How did you figure out how to price your product or service? What else do I need to start? This is a big one. Oftentimes when you go into business for yourself, it's because you're so excited about one particular thing, your interest or your passion. But you forget that you have to also wear the accountant hat, the marketing hat, the lawyer hat, and it can get a little overwhelming. So talking to another business owner about that will help you. Ask how you started your business. Ask what the challenges are in that business. And what advice would you give yourself if you could go back? Because that will be really important to you as a newbie. Hopefully this is helping. The last thing I wanted to mention are the resources out there for starting a new business. Number one, the SBA, the Small Business Association. This is a government agency. Their website is sba.gov, and they have lots of free resources on their website. Next, in your community, there are often resources. For women entrepreneurs in Buffalo, it's the Women Business Center at Canisius College. They have an amazing free Ignite session, which will help you cover all the bases, because often you are not thinking of everything you need to think of when you start. So they'll help you do that. And then they have network groups and things you can plug into as well. There are lots of entrepreneur pages on Facebook right now. If you need an invite to one, let me know. I see them. They definitely are supportive of women. I see a woman ask a question, she gets 94 comments. So it's really awesome. And of course, a free resource. And then, Rachel Hollis. So she wrote the book, Girl, Wash Your Face, and a lot of female entrepreneurs seem to be going to her. And so on her page, she gets a lot of that discussion going. And so that, I think, is a great resource too that I've been watching for a while. That's all I've got.